Hey, I'm Sam from CrossFit Van Zandt, and I want to talk to you a minute about how to relieve your knee pain. Who gets knee pain? Well, at our gym, when we have a new member come in and they start doing a lot of squat movements and getting their leg muscles stronger, those muscles also become shorter and tighter, okay? Now, when you have a muscle that gets shorter and tighter, those muscles start to pull on a joint like the knee and get it out of place, therefore causing inflammation and aches and pains. Not only, you don't have to be a CrossFitter to get sore joints. You know, athletes, runners, and everything that are not stretching properly will encounter joint pain, okay? And this also can happen in the elbow. So how do we relieve this, and how do we avoid achy joints for the rest of our lives? Well, the idea is to lengthen those muscles above and below, okay, above and below the joint, to reduce the load or the tension on the joint, and therefore letting it relax and getting more oxygen and oxygenated blood and everything to that joint to get rid of the aches and pains. So how do we do it? We all know about traditional stretching, where you find whatever muscles tight, or how do we stretch some muscles up here, and we have basic stretches, basic hamstring stretch like this, or we put our one knee on the ground and push our hips forward like a runner's stretch, and we're stretching all these things. We have the IT band stretch, where we plant the foot, go around and stretch this way, and those are all good and decent. They're better than nothing. Is what I'm saying. However, traditionally we don't hold our stretches long enough. So my challenge to you, if you're doing traditional stretching, is to hold each stretch for at least 1 minute before you let up, to get to get the full value out of a stretch. Now, I want to talk now about a thing called a foam roller, and a lot of you guys know what this is, but you can buy these for like $20 just about anywhere. But this is better than traditional stretching. And I have an analogy about a t-shirt, that you got a t-shirt in the dryer that's kind of wrinkled, and you're trying to get the wrinkles out. So you warm it up, you put it in the dryer, and you pull it out, and it's still a little wrinkled. So you take that shirt and you try to stretch it with your hands, and you let it go, and it just goes back to being wrinkled. And that's how I kind of feel about traditional stretching, especially if you stretch it for a couple of seconds like we typically do and let it go. Now, if you stretch it for at least a minute, you're going to do better at getting those wrinkles out. But what's better than that is taking an iron and ironing out those wrinkles, okay? And that's it's what we call the foam rollers, the iron for the muscles. So how do I stretch for my left knee? I typically get a little inflammation and aches and pains at night right here on my patella tendon in my knee. And the culprit is a tight IT band, or a tight quad, or a tight hamstring. All right, and then we're going to talk about the calf muscle. But how do we properly roll out the quad and everything? So, by the way, stretching is not sexy and it's not fun, so people usually avoid it. So make sure you take the time after your workout, or in the morning or at night, to do proper stretching, or just live with the pain. So you got to kind of make a decision there. So how do we roll out? All right, so put this thing on the floor. Let me move back a little bit. And I'm gonna start with my quad. So I'm just gonna put my quad muscle just right on top of the foam roller like that. And I wanna put as much body weight as I can on this foam roller. And I wanna roll all the way up from the knee, all the way up to the hip flexor, and even some of my hip flexor, and then go back and forth. Now, if I feel some pain in a certain location, I wanna stop on that location and then just go back and forth over that knot. And what that is a knot on my muscle that I need to relieve that knot, so I need to smash that knot out. So you need to spend extra time on those little painful spots. All right, once you sit there, like I'm on one right now, once it kind of goes away, then I'm doing it, man. I'm lengthening that muscle, okay? It's great. So there's the quad. If we turn over on the side, now we have our IT band. And this, for me and a lot of runners out there, the IT band is hard to get to stretch, okay? I showed you that stretch a while ago, and it's terrible compared to this, okay? This right here relieves just about all of my knee pain after I do this. And like I said, stay on this for at least a minute, okay? There's a big knot right there, and I'm gonna go back over like I'm rolling out some pizza dough. And it's painful, but if it's painful, you're doing it right, okay? Now I'm gonna transition over to the hamstring, okay? Back here, and I'm gonna roll that out and try to target that hamstring. Now, this doesn't do very well for a hamstring. What I wanna go grab right now is a lacrosse ball, and it rolled away. Okay, so here's a lacrosse ball, and you can substitute a tennis ball or a golf ball or something hard to roll on. And this is a lot more painful than this, but this will target those knots and everything a lot better. Okay, so this is kind of your expert level foam rolling. So the same idea, you just put the lacrosse ball down. So in this case, to target my hamstring, I'm gonna put this right where my butt cheek starts. And I'm gonna find my hamstring, which is right there, and I'm just gonna roll back and forth. And I'm gonna try to go all the way down and roll out some of those knots on my hamstring. And you can of course use this on your quad, you can use this on your IT band. It's also good to use this against the wall, so you can go up against the wall and roll out your back muscles and stuff like that. So, you know, not only your knee joint, but your back and everything could be some of the pain could be gone after you do some proper stretching and foam rolling. Here at CrossFit Van Zandt, we also have what we call an ideal stretch, and this is great for hamstring, IT band, glute, and groin. But this is like, it gives you assistance like having a trainer push your leg back. So if I get on the ground here, put my leg in, straighten my leg, and then hold this. This is a great hamstring stretch, but like I said, you need to hold this for a minute, okay, to get a really good stretch out of it. And then if I go over, it's kind of like an IT band stretch, holding it for a minute. If you open up, we got a groin stretch, and then if you pull the knee back to the chest, you've got kind of a glute stretch to help with your flexibility. So, yeah, it's more work to stretch these muscles out. It's not sexy, it's not cool looking. You feel kind of ridiculous rolling around on the ground on these things. But in order to relieve some of that stress on those joints and to do maintenance on your newly strong muscles, it's definitely, you need to make it a priority. So, you know, spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes after your workout, or, you know, after your run if you're a runner, or after your sport, after your football practice or whatever. And it's gonna take some of that pain and achiness out of your joints. And like I said, you can do it for your elbow. Just concentrate up here and then down here. That's all for my video right now. Thanks for watching. Let us know how we can help you, and stay cool. See ya.